What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Buy low, sell shy. I'm your host Shy. And in today's video, I'm basically going to discuss and I want to get your guys' feedback on what you think about other YouTube personalities or resellers that, I don't know, I personally think they're going down a slippery slope or they're on thin ice. And the reason I say this is I guess it's basically where I live, right? So I live in Illinois, grew up, raised here in the suburbs of Chicagoland, and we're just a little different. And I had one person, so I host garage sales. I've had one person show up at my garage sale, and they just walked in, and they could have been recording, and I said, "Hey, do you have a YouTube channel?" And they didn't really say much, and they went inside my garage and recorded. And I'm not a jerk, so I wasn't like, "Hey, man, you're not allowed to record at my garage sale. This is private property." And you here in Illinois, it's a two-party consent state. So unless you're actually in public, like a public place, like a park, um, or whatever, public street, sidewalk, that's different. You can record, but you're not allowed to record a conversation that you're having with another person, especially while they're being filmed without their consent. And a garage sale is not public place. I mean, it is private property and you are inviting the public to your home, whether it's your garage driveway or your yard if you're having a yard sale. And a lot of times weather sucks here, so I have a lot of my stuff inside my garage. Um, and I don't know, like, should I basically say no recordings allowed? Because technically it is kind of creepy if someone's coming in with a camera and they're literally recording everything I have listed in my garage sale. And, if that person has ill intent, they can show up later and basically be like, I know where all his good stuff is. We're going to break in his dude's garage when he's not home, and so on and so forth. I mean, good luck, dude. I got an alarm system. I got neighbors. We're in a cul-de-sac. We watch each other's back because there have been break-ins in people's cars. There's been attempts to break in. Actually, someone had the garage door open. Again, I didn't live here at the time, so the neighbors are all over it. And some of them are pretty elderly and very easy to rob because they can barely move. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, and one part of me like enjoys the entertainment, and I probably shouldn't be watching as much YouTube reseller content as I should, but I do it to learn, and hopefully you guys watch my channel to learn as well. But I'm just curious, like, what do you guys think of literally people that resell on eBay having these huge YouTube followings, lots of views, and they're cashing in, and I never hear them ask someone for permission. Now there is an exception. There's Craigslist Hunter. His name is Peter. He's not too far from me. He's about a 30-minute drive from my house. And he even explicitly says in his videos, like, I always ask consent. Even as he's walking up to the garage sale, you can hear him on his camera basically saying, "Hey, I just want to let you know I record my videos. I have a YouTube channel. Do I have your consent or your permission to record your garage sale?" And the people are usually like, "Yeah, that's cool." And sometimes they'll be like, "No, that's not cool." And he won't even show the footage. But I feel like these channels, which you probably watch the same channels, they don't get, you never hear them ask for permission. You just assume they get permission, or I think a lot of these personalities are kind of like southern part of the United States, and maybe you guys down in the south kind of don't care as much about privacy, or there's so many people doing it, you've given up. But technically, if you're having an estate sale, and shame on the estate sale, um, the companies that perform these estate sales, shame on them for, I've never heard one of these YouTube personalities ask the estate sale, person around the estate sales, like, "Hey, do I have your permission to record?" They just they walk in the driveway, they start recording, and I know their videos are edited, but I never hear them ask for permission. Now they do get approached a lot saying, "Hey, do you have a YouTube channel?" And then, or they'll be recognized like, "Hey, you're Commonwealth Picker," and they get all excited and they'll hand them like a sticker or something. But I never hear them ask like, "Hey, I'm recording YouTube right now. do I have your permission to record our conversation? He'll just like end up just talking to somebody. So watch some of these videos and let me know what you guys think. So here is Rad Resells. Now this is a Filipino couple. I think they're out of somewhere down south. And obviously this is Natalie. She's pretty tall for a Filipino lady, but she's pretty. Her husband's a good-looking dude too. They're a good-looking young couple. They're very innocent, and they do a good job of sourcing from Goodwill. And they're honest too. Sometimes they'll visit like 8 Goodwill stores and really not find anything. And they kind of blog the price increases at Goodwill. But I give her credit. She gets a lot of views, probably because she's pretty, but whatever. So here's a little bit of her video. If you haven't seen Rad Resells, again, it's entertainment. They do pull comps. I don't know who does the editing, if it's her or husband, but they do a nice job with their channel. And look at this. 4 days ago, she listed this, posted this on YouTube, and she's already got 5,000 views. So for those of you who are not familiar with YouTube revenue, if you get 5,000 views on a video, that's pretty good, considering she only has 27,000 subs. So let's say this video gets 50,000 views before it kind of dies out, or 100,000 views. They're making good money. Like, who cares what they're buying at Goodwill? The fact that if they get 100,000 views on their channel for one trip to Goodwill, that can result in like $1,000. So when you guys are watching these channels, I want you to be aware of that. So it's like, okay, they picked up a pair of sneakers for $10, $15, and they did show that they resold them on their eBay store, which is great. So it does educate you, but let's be real. They're doing this because they're a good-looking couple. She knows how to speak. He knows how to speak. They know how to video edit, and 100,000 views is at least $1,000 in my book. At least, I mean, if I got 100,000 views I have gotten 100,000 views on one of my older like coin videos, and I made like $400. But I think 100,000 views with this type of content, you can make a lot more money because people are watching from the beginning to the end versus like, hey, I'm talking about a coin and you're going to click off after 5 minutes because you get bored. So here, let's watch a little bit of her channel and let me know what you guys think.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Rad Resells. I'm Natalie and I'm a full-time reseller, and today I'm going solo dolo to Goodwill. We're gonna find stuff for cheap that we can flip for a profit online. I'm looking for anything that catches my eye. It could be shoes, clothes, hard goods, anything that can make me some money so I can pay my bills. So without further ado, let's get into the video. It's a beautiful day to go thrifting at Goodwill. Thank you. Hello. The first thing I do when entering a Goodwill is always to check out the new recs that are out. Now,
The first thing you should do when entering a Goodwill, now I think she's holding her phone. I don't think she wears a GoPro just because of the height of things, and you can't see like that classic like hand movement. You know, the usually it's tubbier guys like myself or middle-aged men recording, hear them heavy breathing. I mean, that's what you would hear if I had a GoPro, but you know, you kind of see that like hand going up. I think she just has her cell phone in hand, that she holds, you know, lower. Obviously, she's pushing a cart with one hand, but she definitely has the phone in the other. So if you notice, she just walked in the Goodwill. She didn't go to management and ask, hey, I'm going to film a vlog or for my YouTube channel. Do I have your permission to film in the store? She doesn't do that. She just films. So the question is it legal or illegal? Is it against the law to film at Goodwill? So let's look at what ChatGPT says. All right. So Goodwill is a nonprofit thrift store. Oh, let me move this over so you guys can see it. So Goodwill stores are private property open to the public. That means you can shop freely, but you don't have an automatic legal right to record. Goodwill management sets the rules. Many stores prohibit photography or filming inside for privacy and security reasons. So right there, she and her husband Will are basically playing with fire. If Goodwill like, let's say they have like 200,000 subs. If someone that works for Goodwill watches their channel and goes, hey, I noticed these people are making a ton of money, YouTube revenue, and they're not saying anything bad about Goodwill. I mean, sometimes they do when they can't find something, but they're making a lot of money on our behalf, and did we give them permission to record in our stores? And if the answer is no, Goodwill can basically hire an attorney. I'm sure they have a bunch of them. And basically, attorney can send them a cease and desist order, basically telling them, hey, every single thing that you've recorded on YouTube, you never got our permission, and we're asking you before we sue you to take down all your content inside of our store. So think of that. You are just trying to provide help to the public. You're trying to educate people on YouTube. You're showing things that you've purchased. You're showing the profits that you've made. You're making comments about Goodwill. Some are better than others. And she goes to a lot. She goes to a ton of Goodwill. So she sees a lot of feet on the ground. They're in good shape too. So Goodwill could basically contact them and say, hey, take down all your content, and or they can do something even worse. Not even contact them directly, but they can contact YouTube's legal department and basically say, hey, this couple's making a bunch of videos in our stores. We know who they are. We never gave them permission. And then YouTube could automatically just one day say, you know what? We're going to stop your complete channel, period, because Goodwill wants us to. Just because they want them to. They never gave us permission. So again, nothing against their channel. I watch it, but I've never seen in any of their stores. She just walks right in, and every store might have different policies. I know here in Illinois, like if you're out there like recording and a manager walks by, they'll be like, "What are you doing? You didn't ask me for permission. Please turn off your camera. I'll ask you to leave the premises." And if you continually record after they've told you no, they can then call the police and basically file a trespassing order against you, meaning you're not in trouble. It's not a felony, it's not a misdemeanor, but now you are being served a paper saying you are no longer allowed to shop in this store because you never, we asked you to stop recording, you ignored us, so here's a trespass order. You can't visit the store for a year or 2 years until you learned your lesson. So, I don't know. That to me is very risky. All right, let's look at the second part. So, here is the most, I would say, the most subs or the most famous couple. It's really Harry Tornado, and he didn't bring his wife until like middle of COVID. But this guy's got 413,000 subscribers, and they've got a custom home. They've purchased an investment home. She doesn't work. He doesn't work. This is their job. Their job is to provide content on YouTube, and many times they go to garage sales. They go to estate sales, but in this case, they have been going to flea markets a lot. And flea markets are a public place, but usually a flea market is owned by a private property manager. So again, they're down south. I think everybody knows them that walks through the flea market, but they're just like, they have conversations with vendors. So here's some of his content. I'm sure you've seen it if you guys watch Reselling.
What she want? 5?
He wants a 5
Yeah. 520? That's how you become a millionaire. $15 at a time.
I'm interested in some Care Bears.
Care Bears, for the right price, I'm interested in anything. Well, except Wii Fit boards.
Okay, so like see all these people like walking, okay? So let's say that guy in the blue shirt, he's with his son, okay? And let's say his ex-wife watches Harry Tornado, right? And this guy with his son, or it could be his grandson, basically told his ex that, hey, I'm taking, our son, let's call him Peter for this example. I'm taking our son Peter to his baseball game, or to a baseball game, or we're going golfing. Instead, his wife watched channels like, you liar, you said you were going to go golfing with him. I saw you on Harry Tornado's video that you're in the flea market with him. You absolutely lied to me. You lie about everything, so on and so forth. And then she uses this footage against him in a court of law. And again, this guy can then say, all right, well, this lady raised my child support or increased my maintenance, or she wants to charge me all this extra money because I lied to her where I was taking our son. And now she's upset. And this guy now has to pay, let's say, another $1,000 a month in child support, whatever the case may be. And now this guy realizes, well, the evidence that was brought before the court was Harry Tornado's channel, innocently recording in the public at a flea market. He's a very religious. They're very religious people. They're not trying to cause any harm, but indirectly, because they're just freely filming and they're not blurring out anybody's faces, this lady could use this in evidence in court. This guy could find out that, okay, how did you know I was at the flea market when I was supposed to be at the baseball game? Again, it's a stupid example, but I'm just telling you guys legally. So this guy can then find out, well, I was in a flea market. I didn't give the flea market permission to film me. So now he can then sue and take Harry Tornado's channels down by basically saying, hey, you filmed me in this what I thought was a private event at a flea market, although it might be in public grounds. This looks like public grounds. So I'm just saying, let's say this flea market was privately owned. He can then contact the management company and say, listen, there's this dude, he's got his huge channel on YouTube. He recorded me at your flea market. I'm getting sued over this by my ex, and now I'm suing you guys because I never gave you permission to record me while walking through your flea market, meaning I was never handed any paperwork. No, there's no things on there, no consent, this and that. So again, it sounds really simple, and again, this channel is not trying to cause any ill intent out there, but guys, especially if you're doing like video editing, which they obviously do a good job. They have 413 subs. He's got 34,000 views. This video alone will probably get about 1 million views in the next year or so. Guess how much money they make on 1 million views? They're making, a lot. Like we're talking 10, 12,000 for 1 million views, and he does a video every week. So do the math, okay? He's not getting his custom house. He's not buying an investment house. He doesn't have all this money. Yeah, he hustles. He does whatnot and eBay and stuff. But seriously, it is interesting what they pick up, but they pick up a lot of junk. I think they just go out to collect content, but they're not doing really well because of the job they do on eBay or the job that they do at whatnot. They're doing very well because they have a lot of subs. They have a lot of people that follow them, and they support their channel by watching their videos. So again, is it illegal to film in a flea market? You better get the flea market management company's permission to do so, which they might also do. But I don't think he got that guy in the blue shirt with his son walking by permission. This lady that runs the booth, again, they're probably like regular customers of theirs, but I've never seen in a video where they've actually asked her, hey, I'm filming us right now. Do I have your consent to film? So just because you're in a public place doesn't mean you have permission to film this lady, doing her thing here. Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comments about filming at a flea market, having a huge YouTube channel, and just making content open freely. You're not blurring out anybody's faces in the video, and you never hear them ask for permission. Okay, so that's that example. Now, let's look at going to an estate sale. So here is Commonwealth Picker. Again, he has a lot of subs. Everybody in the resale community knows him, knows what he does. He usually films in his shed. I can't watch his channel because when he's filming in the shed, it gives me motion sickness. But I think he's a retired teacher, and he does buy and sell a lot of stuff on eBay and whatnot. And here he is at an estate sale filming content. Now watch what this guy that just casually walks by has a conversation with him, and let me know what you guys think.
Are you part of the estate team?
Nope, not part of the estate
Camera, I was
team.
just wondering.
No, I have a YouTube channel. I film when I buy at yard sales and estates.
Oh,
Okay, so here he is filming this guy. This is live, and he hasn't edited it. Okay, he didn't talk to him beforehand and say, hey, do I have your permission to film? This guy's basically like, hey, you're filming. Do you work for the estate sale company? He's like, no, I just like to video when I visit the estate sales. Okay, so here's this guy, innocent guy, right? What if this guy is not supposed to be here? What if he has a court order saying he's not allowed to step a certain amount of feet? Let's say this guy's a child predator and he's not supposed to be at this estate sale because there's a child or a person across the street or his ex across the street that's got an order of protection against him. Again, I'm going with extremes, but what if this guy wasn't supposed to be there that day at the estate sale? He was supposed to be somewhere else. What if this guy's supposed to be at work right now and his employer then sees, hey, I'm a fan of Commonwealth Picker. I'm this guy's manager. He was supposed to be at a work site. Instead, he's futzing around at an estate sale. Dude, you're getting fired. You were supposed to be at the job site. Instead, you told us you were sick. Obviously, you're not sick. You're here at this estate sale. I can clearly see you on camera. And this guy then gets fired. He loses his job. He then realizes that his manager watches Commonwealth Picker because he can't figure out, like, how did they know where I was that day? And again, here's Commonwealth Picker. He's having a conversation with this guy. Very innocent conversation. But he doesn't blur out the guy's face.
Sales.
That's part of the,
Yeah. Yeah.
the vlog. It's
Yep.
Steals and deals.
Deals and deals. Yep.
I guess. What, you on YouTube?
Yep. Commonwealth Picker.
Commonwealth.
Yep.
Okay.
Check it out.
I sure will.
Okay, this is a normal conversation, but you don't hear, I forgot what this guy's real name is, but you don't hear him ask the guy like, hey, do I have your permission to put you on my content, on my video? You don't ever hear that conversation at all. Now, there's a lot of video editing going on. He might have asked him permission afterwards, but what if he didn't? What if this guy was supposed to be at a job site and here he is walking his dog? He's probably a neighborhood guy, right? Because obviously he's walking his dog, or unless he showed up in his car and he just likes to bring his dog at the estate sale. Again, that's more of a southern thing too. Estate sales here in Illinois, you can't just bring your pets freely in someone's house, right? But so the estate sale people didn't really give him permission to film. He just walks out of his car, enters the estate sale. Some other patrons recognize who he is. He gets all excited. This guy didn't know who he was. He had to tell him, this is my channel. I don't work for the estate sale company. I'm filming. And he just walks along with his day. So do you really think Commonwealth Picker went up to him later before he entered the car, stopped the video to say, hey, you were just on my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of subs. Do I have your permission to record? He never asked that. He just records the guy, puts his face on there, doesn't blur out his face, nothing. So again, I'm not saying anything bad about Commonwealth Picker, but dude, you're breaking the law, man. And these resellers are all the same. They're so concentrated on showing you guys content, like here's these Christmas things that we all like to enjoy to watch, and someone will be like, oh, I have that, I have this Christmas decoration. I didn't know it's worth whatever. And let's say he picked it up and then he shows a comp like, hey, this thing's worth $50 and they're selling it for $2. It's a good way to educate yourself. That's not what I have a problem with. The problem with I have is he just recorded that guy's conversation, never asked him permission. In Illinois, I'd be like, dude, why are you recording me right now? I don't give you permission. Please delete your video. We're not in a public place. We're in a estate sale. We're on private property. I don't give you permission to record my face and record my conversation. Again, that's just how we kind of are brought up here in the Illinois area. Everyone gets kind of, I don't know, we're not as friendly as we are, as you guys are down in the South. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And again, I did look that up as well. Again, ChatGPT is not a lawyer, but here, recording at a flea market, legal basics. Most flea markets are privately operated. Oh, sorry, I moved this over. Even though they feel public, that means the market operator vendor rules can set restrictions on filming, which none of these places down south seem to set any restrictions on anything. If no rule prohibits video recording of booths, items is generally legal, but if security staff or vendor tells you no filming, you continue, they can ask you to stop or leave. Refusing could lead to a trespassing issue, not a crime for recording itself. Okay, so again, I never hear him ask any, that's Harry Turner, I never hear him ask permission from any vendor. And then finally, I did look up, is it legal to record at a garage sale or an estate sale? And again, since it's private property, the owner can set its own rules, including no recording. And, again, the people, like even this guy that he's having just a casual conversation with could be like, dude, I don't want to be recorded right now. Can you please turn off your camera or stop recording this conversation? And then find out later that Commonwealth Picker did not, um, you know, uh, go along with that guy's request, and that guy watches his channel and sees that he's on video. He'd be like, dude, hire a lawyer. The lawyer will take the case, and he can sue Commonwealth Picker because he didn't give him permission. And then that guy could say, hey, this guy's making money on our conversation on his YouTube channel. I didn't give him permission, so now I'm suing him for damages. And then the damages would be like, all right, well, how much did Commonwealth Picker make in that portion of the video of the conversation? Now, some of these conversations are fights. Like there's actually like battles at garage sales, and those are usually the biggest clickbait ones, right? So a lot of times those will get 1 million, 2 million, 3 million views because someone at a garage sale is fighting with someone, or someone next to them is like grabbing stuff from them or basically having a conversation, and the reseller content creator on YouTube personality with a lot of subs will record the argument or the fight between the other person at the garage sale that just simply wants to buy stuff. And then they're like so surprised, like, wow, why was someone giving me such a hard time? It's like, well, dude, you have a camera on. You're like showing in the camera, and this other guy or this other lady wants to grab the same thing, and of course they're going to be pissed. They're like, dude, who is this guy? They got a camera, they're recording. I just want to show up at a garage sale or an estate sale and go amongst, and buy something. I don't need this jerk face here with a camera recording my every move and then our conversation. Or if we get in a fight, I didn't give him permission to record the fight either. And a lot of this content gets a lot of views. They make a lot of money because there is conflict. Okay. So again, I have nothing bad to say about these channels. Good for them. Make all the money you want. But personally, dude, they're running the risk of getting sued. And again, most of them are pretty God-fearing people, which I understand, all that good stuff. But the law is the law, man. Unless you get someone's consent to record your conversation, you are on thin ice. You are playing with fire. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit just because of how things are around here in Illinois. We're very private. I do like talking to people. I do enjoy having garage sales. I do enjoy helping the public. I know not a lot of families around this area have a lot of money. I don't care what race you are, like, doesn't matter to me. But I notice I'm getting like regulars that come to my garage sale. Guys, I'll sell a shirt or a pair of pants for $1 just to help a couple out, or they have a kid with them. I'll be like, hey, does your kid want a Hot Wheel? Does he want some Hot Wheels? He can take it for free. Does he like that toy? You can take it for free. If you guys buy something from me, just let your kid take it. Even my neighbor Larry's, basically, we had a young couple come. The guy was holding the baby, and then they had like their like 5-year-old son with them, and the 5-year-old son was looking at Hot Wheels. Dude, the wife grabbed like purses, shoes. She grabbed like whatever, $30, $40 worth of stuff. And the kid was crying, and they're like, no, you already have Hot Wheels. And the kid just wanted Hot Wheel. And my Hot Wheels are not like junky kid Hot Wheels. They're actually like collectible Hot Wheels that I looked up, and they're worth like $5 to $10. And I said, listen, the sign says $3. They are collectible Hot Wheels. If your son wants one, it's $1. Okay, it's $1. So your son's not crying. They're like, no, he's got piles of Hot Wheels at home. So my neighbor Larry shows up to give me something to look up on eBay or whatever, and he's like, I'll buy the kid a Hot Wheel. So he gives $1, and then the kid's crying because he wants 3 of them. They're like, no. It's like, wait, this stranger, who's my neighbor, just offered to buy your kid a Hot Wheel. So he's like, and he asked the parents' permission, like, is it all right if I give your kid $1 so you can buy a Hot Wheel? And they're like, yeah, sure, of course, you're getting it for free now. And then the kid's still complaining. He wants 3, and Larry's like, I'll buy the other 2 here. So he gives him $3. The kid gives me the $3. He gives Larry a hug saying thank you. He gives me a hug saying thank you because, the parents are like, yeah, I say thank you, which the kid was super cute, super nice. And then my favorite part of the end of it, so they had like $40 worth of stuff that I was giving to them for $30. and they wanted to give me 25. I was like, are you serious? Now, they were a certain ethnicity, which I won't say because I don't want to sound racist, but it's normal. Like, I get it. Like, that's just the culture. They're going to ask for a better price. But my neighbor and I were like, wait, you just bought that kid 3 Hot Wheels. I just gave him a killer deal because I probably should get me $9 or $10 for these collectible Hot Wheels. I just took $3. And then the parents already had talked me down from 40 to 30, and my prices are really good at my garage sale, and then they want to give me $5 less. So I'm just like, no, I won't take 25. And they're like, come on. And I'm like, and they're like, well, how about 27? I'm like, fine, just go, like leave. Like you guys are weird, you know. Your kid got free Hot Wheels. My neighbor bought for your son, and you're already talking me down the price. It was like crazy, right? So that but I didn't record it. And if I was recording it, I would have to ask some permission to record that and show you guys that content. Because even though it's on my private property, I'm not putting a big sign up saying you are being recorded. Even if I did that, I could get sued because if I'm making money from the content, from the conversation, the just the interaction of people at my garage sale, I could get sued because that couple could say like, "Hey, we watch your channel. We noticed we never gave you permission to record our kid." Like, God, if you're recording someone's kid and they give you permission, like that's illegal. And let's say I got 1 million views from it and I made a lot of money from it, they could sue me because I never asked them for permission to record. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, no hate on those channels. I think they do a great job. I just think legally they're they're gonna get sued one day. It's not worth it. So I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.